the stream, get in position.
Yeah.
Lauren has got 0%. It's not going. One more minute. Oh.
Pat, you are live.
Welcome everybody to a very, very special diveLIVE, and it is special because we finally have Zoom. So today we're going to be using Zoom, or more likely Emil is our cameraman today, so he's going to be using Zoom. And up on the surface we have Lauren. So we are down here on the sand, just about 200 meters. They do tend to hide away very quickly when we come down here. So with this new Zoom capabilities, we can get a better look. Now, if you do have any questions, please send them in. If you're using Twitter, don't forget to use the hashtag diveLIVE.
Oh.
You want to say hello to everyone, Lauren?
Yes, a very morning to you all. Now we are zoomed in on the garden eels. We did lose focus a bit there, but we're back, and just look how close we are to them. This is really exciting for us. We have been waiting for Zoom for a very long time. So Pat, tell us about these garden eels.
Yeah, so as you can see, they are eels. So eels still are fish, but they have evolved to be quite different. One very, very big thing about this evolution is the lack of scales. So eels actually do not have scales, and they have a bit of a mucus that covers their skin, combined with the ability to swim both backwards and forwards, which makes them perfect for hiding away in these little burrows. Now you will notice that a lot of them are facing in the same direction, and that is because they are filtering food out of the current. And the current is obviously going in the direction that their faces are, so they can just pick all of the little bits of plankton out of the water.
Yes, so Pat obviously will not know what it looks like to look at these garden eels through the Zoom, because it's the first time we're using them. We're a little bit out of focus now, Emil. Its focus is gone. Yeah, we're back. So we can see them incredibly close because these guys are really shy. Normally, the minute you swim up to them, they will just retreat into their burrows like the ones at the very front are doing. But we can see them so well, and they do just look like wriggly worms at the bottom of your garden. So please do send in any questions you have on Twitter. Make sure you use that hashtag diveLIVE. But you can also send in your questions from Facebook and YouTube. Also, you can send in what you would like to see. Now, it's never guaranteed what we're going to see, but we can always do our best to look out for your wish list. So Pat, what's the dive plan? What do you hope to see?
Well, the first thing I wanted to do was show people these garden eels close up, and seeing as we do have the Zoom today, I might be on the lookout for some smaller things, so maybe some little shrimps, or fingers crossed a nudibranch would be awesome. But it also has been a very, very long time since I have had a turtle on one of my dives. I haven't seen one for at least a couple of weeks now, so I'm really, really hoping to see a turtle as well today.
And we can get nice and close to your pretty eyes there, Pat. Debbie is asking, how long approximately are these garden eels?
So they are about, when they're fully, well, none of them come fully out of their burrows, but I would say about 50 centimeters to 60 centimeters for both of them, which is about 20, 22, 23 inches.
Wow, so yeah, they're definitely longer than what we can see. We can only see the little top part of their body that decides to come out the burrow. And the current must be pretty strong today, Pat, for them all to be out feeding, is that right?
Yeah, so there is a bit of a current today. It is not as bad as other times, but there definitely is. I think I've seen a stingray. Yes, I do see a stingray.
Yay! Let's go and get close to that stingray.
Hopefully, it is a little bit away from us. Hopefully the cable will reach.
Okay, let's try.
Yeah.
We have more cable on the surface, so let's try. Pat's actually the one of us that had the best encounter with a stingray to date. So far, they've kind of just swam away from us, so let's hope this one will allow us to get close. And Emil can use that zoom on a stingray.
Now this one does look like a bit of a bigger one as well.
Oh, an adult. Is it a southern stingray, Pat?
Yes, it is a southern stingray, and no surprises, it has a black barjack hanging around it too.
Oh yeah, it's right ahead of us, so we can see a southern stingray, which is part of the whiptail stingray group, and there is that usual barjack just hanging above it, hoping to steal some of its food. Oh, we're getting really close.
Wow.
So, oh no, stay with us, stingray.
So it looked like it was tenting just then.
Yes, it was. You want to explain what tenting is, Pat?
Yeah, so tenting is when the stingrays come up using their wings on the sand, and it looks like a tent. So what they do is they can suck all of the things up through the sand, all of their prey items such as crustaceans and mollusks, and into their mouth. And that's why that barjack was hanging around it, because anything that the stingray misses is an easy free lunch for the barjack.
The barjacks hang around a lot of different animals here, and I really don't think I've seen a stingray here in Grand Cayman without a barjack hovering above it. So is that stingray swam off?
Yes, it has gone away into the distance, but not to worry, we will be on the lookout for it again, but we'll head a little bit closer to the reef. Oh, we've got a very nice jellyfish here. I'm not sure how well the camera is going to pick this up.
Let's try. That would be a great find. Oh, yeah, I can see it. So it's right ahead of us, this now. Emil's doing great work. We've lost, oh no, we're back in focus.
Wow, oh no, this is actually, it looks like a group of...
Yeah, it's not a jellyfish, yeah.
Wow, this is incredible.
Good work, Emil. Keep it up. It's very in focus.
So this is not one single animal. This is a lot of pelagic tunicates. Now, a tunicate is a sea squirt. So they actually kind of resemble sponges in that they have two siphons, one that it breathes in with and one that breathes out with. But they are a lot more involved than sponges. So unlike sponges, these guys have a fully complex nervous system, a respiratory system, and they're actually the closest relatives of humans in the ocean because they are part of the phylum Chordata, meaning that they have a backbone. Now these guys do not have a true backbone, but they do have a column that resembles a superficial backbone.
So what are they doing floating in the water column, Pat?
Sorry?
What are they doing floating in the water column?
Yeah, they're just kind of moving about. They're all grouped together, and I don't know whether you can see it, but
So we've just lost focus, Emil. Pat is not in focus. We'll get that focus back for you.
So they, yeah, I'm not really sure what they're doing. They are changing position, so they will move around. Maybe they're doing some sort of mating, I believe. But yeah, it's really curious, these little critters.
So Betty is just asking, what were they again? Can you just go back to basics and explain the name, maybe spell it for us?
Sorry?
Betty's asking for confirmation on what they were again. Can you just...
Okay, so they are... Sorry, I just want to get out of its way here so I don't hit it. So they are pelagic tunicates. So a tunicate is spelled T-U-N-I-C-A-T-E. And now most of the time they are attached, just like a sponge would be, to a substrate. But there is also a pelagic form, and what a pelagic form is one that is free swimming in the water column.
So Sophie's asking, is it a mating dance?
Is it a mating dance?
Yes.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure because they are all grouped together, which kind of could make us assume that maybe this is something they're doing for mating, or maybe it's for protection. I'm really not sure what they are doing together here.
Well, that was such an interesting find. So we have the garden eels behind you and then tunicates in front of you. Not a bad start.
Yeah, and that stingray too. It's been good. Alright, so let's move back towards the reef and see what we can find back there. Hopefully that turtle is waiting around. But as I said, I'm also going to be on the lookout for some smaller things as well.
Yeah, now that we have this zoom, we're probably going to see no small things and just big things. It's normally how it works, but fingers crossed. So this sandy patch is just at the bottom of the reef. What depth are you at?
I am at 16 meters down. So that is about 50, 60 feet.
Yeah, 50 feet. So it's quite deep. So you're going to come a little bit shallower now, is that right, Pat?
Yes, yes. So there is a direct relationship between pressure and depth. So the deeper you get, the more pressure there is. Now because of this, the air becomes more compressed, so you're actually breathing, well, you use your air a lot quicker the deeper you are in the water. So by coming up a little bit shallower now, I'll be able to spend a bit more time down here with you all.
Heidi was asking about maybe fish that prey on the garden eels, what actually eats them, because it definitely will not be easy to get them out their burrows. So what fish preys on the garden eels, Pat?
Well, there is a species of snapper that we quite often see sitting there on the sand. Now the first time I saw it, I didn't know what it was doing. It was sitting there completely still, almost like in a meditative trance. Oh, turtle! Yay!
All right, I'm going to bring up the database. Hold on.
Oh, what's it doing?
It's feeding, yeah. So this is a hawksbill, and I think I recognize it. Bear with me. Pat, maybe you can tell us a little bit about hawksbills while I look up the database.
Yeah, so we do have a database that we can use to identify these turtles by the scales on the side of their face. Now, I'm going to take a guess at this one and say that it's Gretchen.
Oh, that was my guess too, but let me just confirm.
So hawksbills are a species of sea turtle, and they are all reptiles, meaning they have to breathe air. So this one is actually on a bit of a free dive right now. And we can tell it's a hawksbill, A, because it has that typical hawksbill. Oh, this is awesome how it's feeding right now. But yeah, you can see it using that big beak there to crunch up all of its food. And we can also tell it's a hawksbill because the scales on its carapace, so the shell, more or less, are overlapping each other. They're not sitting nicely. They are overlapping, and it's also got this serrated backside of its shell as well.
So I can confirm it is Gretchen. This is an adult female hawksbill, and obviously not bothered by our presence at all, and having breakfast, I think.
Yeah, she's loving it. Now, Gretchen is actually the first ever hawksbill that we positively identified on the reef, so it's always special to see Gretchen here.
Yeah, oh, we're so close to Gretchen. It's amazing. And like Pat mentioned, they do have lungs, so they need to breathe air. So right now, she's obviously on a bit of a dive, and once she's satisfied with her breakfast, she will need to head to the surface to take a few breaths. We're so close right now. It's so beautiful. We can actually see the details of her eye and that big overbite sharp beak. We can even see her nostrils just at the top of the beak. She has a pair of nostrils. That's how close we are, Pat.
Yeah, this is correct. So I'm assuming you're zoomed in right now?
We are. We're zoomed in right to her head, if you like, her head and neck. So you can see this flexible, stretchy neck. It does give her a lot of movement in her head, but it's not like land turtles or tortoises. They cannot retract the head back into the shell, but it is really flexible and stretchy for movement. Oh my, it's such a good view of Gretchen right now. Well done, Emil, well done.
Yeah, and this was Emil's spotting once again. Emil is the man when it comes to spotting turtles. He's always pointing them out to us whenever we're diving.
Yeah, so hawksbills are the most common turtle around Grand Cayman. They're quite common throughout the world, actually, and they rarely get bigger than 1 meter, which is about 3 feet. So normally they average around 90 centimeters, so just under 3 feet, and they tend to weigh around 80 kilograms, so probably around 180 pounds.
Now, generally they do eat sponges, but right now, I'm not sure, maybe you can see a bit better than me, Lauren. Can you actually see what it's eating right now? Because it's obviously loving it. It's having a big feast here.
It just looks like it's crunching on the rock. We're not actually able to see what it's eating, but I would imagine it would be some kind of sponge. Oh wow, we're so close. We can see it really crunching on that food.
This is amazing. It's great. You know, a lot of the time we do get turtles while they're swimming, and this is graceful to see, but it's also cool just to see it actively feeding right now, just sitting here in this one spot, munching away.
Well,
human-like how it's using its flippers for balance and stability, crawling along the ground.
Yeah. Elaine, my mother, is asking a really interesting question for once. She is asking, do we think Gretchen knows us? And that's a really interesting question. I would like to say yes. Apparently turtles are a lot more intelligent than we give them credit for. So it maybe doesn't know Pat personally, but I do think it really is aware of humans. It's probably lived on this reef for a very long time where there's lots of divers and lots of snorkelers, and they are aware that we are not a threat. Whether it recognizes us individually, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe. What do you think, Pat?
Yeah, well, I'm not actually sure about that. But yeah, as Lauren said, I'm sure they do recognise divers and know that we're not a threat because they see so many living around here. But, I don't know. I mean, with Patch, Patch is another juvenile turtle that we see all the time. And it's almost as if Patch comes down and dives toward us. So maybe.
I've also had incidences when I was working in Maldives. I have a wide angle lens on my camera, and juvenile turtles are not able to recognize that they're seeing their reflection. So they tend to come right up to the lens of the camera and bite it. And we do believe that they're seeing themselves in the reflection, and they obviously think it's another turtle. Wow. So we can see those nostrils perfectly. So turtles do have an incredible sense of smell. You wouldn't think so, but they do. Not only is their eyesight really good, their sense of smell is really good, and their hearing is really good. So turtles are very, very adequate when it comes to using their senses. And we're really, really close now. This zoom is an absolute game changer for us.
Yeah, it's great to have, especially with beautiful styling such as this. And now Gretchen is a female hawksbill, and that means that she will actually lay her eggs on land. So they will go to a beach, dig themselves a hole and lay their eggs there. And it's something really, really interesting about this is that it's actually the temperature of the nest that determines whether what the sex of the turtle would be. So there's a little saying to go along with that. It's cool dudes and hot chicks. So if it's cooler, then they will come out as girls, and if it's warmer, then they will hatch as boys.
Yeah, that's true. And just to add to what Pat said, normally around 28 degrees Celsius, which is about 82 degrees Fahrenheit, from these temperatures down, it will be definitely males, where the cool dudes come in. And then from 31 degrees Celsius to about 88 degrees Fahrenheit is when you will definitely get females, the hot chicks. And any sort of eggs in between these temperatures will be a mix. They will produce a mixture of both males and females. So when a turtle lays a nest, depending on where the egg is within the chamber, will determine also whether it's male and female. The eggs in the middle will be much warmer from body heat. So they do say that the first egg laid and the last egg laid will be males. We're getting a really good view of the scales or the scutes on the shell. You can really see that they're overlapping one another. And the fact that Gretchen's shell is so serrated also highlights how fully grown she is. She is definitely an adult.
Now, Emil is showing me something in here. I can't see what it is, but
I'm not 100% sure either. We can see lots of tiny small shrimps floating around. I'm really not sure what it was. We just saw a crevice with lots of shrimps.
Yeah, I can't seem to see what it is either.
Well, people are loving Gretchen. We can maybe stay on her a little bit longer. Love Dogs is asking, how far away from here is the beach where they lay their eggs? Do they travel far, Pat?
Sorry, what was that?
Love Dogs is asking, how far away is the beach where they lay their eggs, and do they travel far?
Oh, well, that depends on where Gretchen was born. So turtles, sea turtles, will actually return to the same beach that they were born at to lay their clutch of eggs, which is pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it's incredible fascinating, and they say that the turtles have a sort of internal compass where they're able to navigate the oceans using the magnetic fields of the earth. So Timothy is asking, how long can a turtle stay underwater without breathing? Well, on average, hawksbills will stay under about 20 minutes because they're relaxed and calm and they're just going about their day eating, resting and breathing, the simple life. But they are known to hold their breaths much longer, anywhere between 4 to 7 hours in between breaths. So they do utilize oxygen completely differently from us, and they can breathe anaerobically. So we breathe aerobically, which means we use oxygen to breathe, but they can breathe anaerobically, where they have no oxygen and they just use sugars. They also have more myoglobin in their blood, so they're more effective at transporting oxygen and nutrients, and they do shunt their oxygen supply to only their brain, their respiratory organs and their nervous system during really deep, long dives. Their flippers and other organs can cope with the scarcity of oxygen. Oh, we're getting a good look at her little tail there. So this proves that it is female from that really tiny stumpy tail that doesn't extend past the carapace. And there is an opening in front of the tail, which is where she releases all those ping pong ball sized eggs. if Gretchen was a boy, it would be a big fat long tail there that would extend way past the carapace, and you would know straight away that it's a boy.
So we've only had one other boy, haven't we? We've only had one male turtle. It's mostly been females or juveniles.
Yeah, boy turtles tend to stay much deeper, a little bit out in the open ocean. So, Vulpine Wolf is asking, how are turtles able to feed without inhaling water?
Oh, look at it munching on that sponge there. Sorry, what was the question?
How are turtles able to feed without inhaling water?
Still didn't catch that, sorry.
Okay, how are turtles able to feed without inhaling water?
Oh, actually, I don't know that one. Do you know that one, Lauren?
Yes, I do believe they're able to close it off almost because they are breathing anaerobically. They do have a completely different respiratory system from us, and they are able they will swallow water, but it'll be directed to their stomachs. And obviously all of this swallowing water means that they'll have a high salt concentration in their body, which could actually kill them. So they have adapted a salt gland, which is just like a tear duct in us. It's in the same location as our tear ducts, and this is where they excrete all the excess salt to avoid dying from high salt levels. So many people do think that turtles cry, they see turtles crying, but in actual fact they're just getting rid of all that salt. So they do swallow water, but they don't inhale it.
Yeah, so I was very distraught when I saw my first nesting tea turtle and thought that it was in so much pain that it was crying. But it's not the case at all. It's just, yeah, as Lauren mentioned, those salt ducts.
Karen has brought up a really interesting point. If it gets too hot with climate change, what will happen to the sex of the eggs? And that is currently a big topic for discussion. That's correct. If the surface temperatures do rise and the world gets warmer, it will produce more females. It will leave a completely unequal amount of males and females produced. So it's very worrying, and it is a hot topic at the moment. Good point.
Yeah, that's a great question. Well done to think up that one, Karen. That's really good.
And just a big shout out to our beautiful, darling team member, Simone. She is watching from home, and just a big hi to you. We miss you.
Hey, Simo!
So lots of questions about turtles. Simone's asking who it is. So for anyone that has just joined, it is Gretchen, an adult hawksbill, a full-size adult hawksbill. So we can tell she's an adult by the length of her curved carapace. So the carapace is just another name for the shell. So from the top of the shell to that tip at the bottom, if it's above 60 centimeters, we can say that she is an adult. The carapace normally ranges from 60 to 79 centimeters.
So that is just under 3 feet.
Thanks for that, Pat.
No worries.
Pat is my conversion boy. So that's not including the head. So what size would you estimate Gretchen's shell is, Pat?
Sorry?
What size would you estimate Gretchen's shell is from the top to the bottom?
I would say about 90 centimeters or 3 feet. So
the shell?
Yeah, the carapace.
That maybe it's a little bit under that. Hawksbills in total, from tip to bottom, don't normally go above 1 meter. So including the head, what size would you say she is?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So the length of just the shell. So just the shell would be, I would say, about 60 to 70 centimeters, just over 2 feet long.
Yeah, that's about right. So that's how we know she is an adult. And when we talk about the shell, people often think it's just the part that we're looking at right now, that top side. But actually the shell is also including that bottom side. I'm not sure if a male will be able to get a look at that. The top part is called the carapace that we're looking at, and the underneath part is called the plastron. And it's the carapace and the plastron together that make up the shell. This is just incredible. This is probably the best encounter we've had with a turtle and Gretchen. Yeah, we're getting a good look at the underside now. That's the plastron, and it is part of the shell, and it is also made up of scales. Is she going up for some air now?
It looks like it, yes. She's slowly rising up, barely even moving a muscle.
Yeah.
Looking very holy right now, like she's ascending up to heaven.
Like an angel, yeah. So when she takes her first breath at the surface, she will obviously get rid of all that carbon dioxide that's built up in her body. And they actually have a 3-chambered heart, a heart that's designed completely different from ours, and that is adapted to handle the high levels of carbon dioxide that will build up. Because when us humans breathe, we exhale carbon dioxide on every single breath. But obviously because Gretchen's not breathing, it's going to build up inside of her. And turtles are so efficient that they can actually exchange up over 50% in one breath of the gases that they breathe. Now, we normally barely even exchange 10% on each breath. So this is how they're so well adapted at what they do. So she will probably take 3 or 4 breaths at the surface and then dive down again.
Alright, so it looks like Gretchen has left us to go up and have a breath and chill out, so I'm going to shallow up a little bit because I am starting to get a bit lower on air.
Can you give us the air update?
Yes. So I am on 80 bar.
Perfect. So still a little bit time. So as Pat's going shallow, we'll just answer some questions. Sheila is asking, when is their mating season? So it does differ from region to region and species, but I believe the Hawksbills and the Grand Cayman, the mating season is between May to November. So right now they are in mating season. Maybe that's why we spotted that boy recently.
Yes, coming here to find himself a mate. Now, turtles mating can be quite a rough ordeal. So Emil's just pointed out a sea cucumber. There's actually 2 sea cucumbers.
Oh, nice. We love a sea cucumber.
Yes. So this big blob of brown is actually an animal. It is a sea cucumber. Now, sea cucumbers are echinoderms, which means that they're very closely related to both sea stars and sea urchins.
Yeah, let's see how close we can actually get to the details in this sea cucumber. Now, Pat's description of a big brown blob is pretty accurate. That is what they look like. But it's actually a living, breathing animal that has some really interesting facts about them. So we're getting really, really close up to the warty skin. Are we able to maybe get to the end? We can either see whether it's the mouth or the anus.
Yeah, so I can see the other side, so the side that we're not looking at right now. I can see the anus there, which is what they use to breathe, and also what some fish like to use for their home.
Yes, that is a crazy story that everybody loves, so we will share it with you. There is a species of eel-like fish called the star pearlfish, and they're quite long actually. They can go up to 16 centimeters, and they hide out in the anus of a sea cucumber. So the sea cucumber does not want this. It will try to reject this idea, but of course it breathes through its anus. So if it does clench that, it will not be able to breathe. So it does have to open its anus, and this is when these eels will climb inside. And they are using the anus for shelter, but there is actually one species of pearlfish that will eat the gonads from inside of the cucumber, inside out. So the wonderful and weird information of the marine life. Now, Love Dogs has actually commented on the fact that they expel their innards if threatened, and that is correct. They, through a process of evisceration, they're able to expel all their internal organs through the anus, and they are thought to do this when they're really threatened or scared. However, the recent studies have shown that they might do it regularly in order to sort of purge themselves of all the toxins and chemicals that build up inside their body. So they expel all their internal organs, and then they are able to regenerate this from a few days to a week.
Maybe that could be a new type of spark lens. Go in and expel your internal organs.
Yeah, that is just so hard and difficult for us to actually imagine how animals can do that.
So we've just found a pair of very big French angelfish as well. So we'll try and get a look at these before I go up to my safety stop.
So just on the sea cucumber, Fiona mentioned that it looks spiky. They aren't actually spiky, it's more like warty. It's more lumpy with a really thick, leathery skin than it is spiky. But yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
Are we seeing the angelfish?
We are, and we can't wait to get close to them. So before you finish the dive, maybe we can get a nice close-up of the details of this beautiful French angelfish.
So this one that we're seeing right now is very large for a French angelfish. I'd say across it is about 50 centimetres, 20 inches, and from top to bottom it's probably about 40 centimetres.
Oh, almost fully grown.
Yes, it's a big one, and it's got its little mating pair there as well, which is probably about 40 centimetres from mouth to tail and about 30 centimetres from top to bottom.
So because Gretchen was the highlight of the dive, everyone is just so unbelievably impressed with the camera work with Gretchen. Do you think we can round up on a few turtle questions, Pat?
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of them. So Ron and Tori are asking, how long will Gretchen live?
So Gretchen is a Hawksbill, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lauren,
yeah.
They can live up to 50 years, is that correct?
Yeah, Hawksbills tend to go to 50 years, that we know of, but they are ancient reptiles, so they really could go much longer than that, and it looks like the angelfish is listening to me. We do also have a question from Alao. Hi, Alao from Maldives. Would a turtle in any circumstance crave to eat any kind of fish? And they wouldn't. They're not carnivores, hawksbills. They will just focus mainly on sponges. So I'm just checking for all these turtle questions. People are very, very, very happy.
Yes, that's good.
So Sian Min is highlighted a really amazing question. What will a female turtle do if the beach she came from has disappeared?
That is a good question. Now, I'm not sure. I have been in a situation where the beach line has been receding, which has led to the females. They still nest, but their nest density is a lot higher, so there's a lot more nests in a lot smaller space, which causes high bacterial loads, and the temperatures inside the nest to rise, so it actually is a really negative effect on the hatch rate of the eggs. Now, in terms of the beach going completely missing, I'm not too sure, Lauren.
Well, I can help you out there. Yeah, obviously coastal development and erosion are two of the biggest problems for turtles right now. People are developing on the beaches, and the beaches are eroding, so it's removing the area of beach that the turtles need to lay their eggs. So there has been a lot of evidence recently that has recorded some tagged turtles, females, that have came to the beach to lay their eggs, and the beach is not there anymore. So they have made several attempts, and with each failed attempt the turtle will just leave, and there's evidence that she will just exile.
Yeah. So do we have one last turtle question before I end the dive.
I'm just looking, there's been a lot, so I'm sorry if I haven't actually managed to get through them all. Well, Georgie's asking an interesting one. Do sea turtles have any defensive mechanisms?
Well, I suppose you could count their shell as a defense mechanism because it is hard and does deter predator attacks. Well, the Hawksbill, I'm not sure whether you'd really call this a defense mechanism, but they do accumulate the toxins from sponges in their meat, so I'm not sure, but maybe a very sensitive animal might be able to pick up on this chemical defense, or not defense, but the chemicals and maybe not attack.
Yeah, so they don't have any active defense mechanisms, but they do have deterrence, if you like. So like Pat mentioned, this hard shell will put a lot of animals off eating it. It would only really be the bigger sharks, such as a tiger shark, that would really take on a turtle and crunch through that hard shell. But they don't have any active defense mechanisms, no poison or venom or any sort of way to attack anyone. But good question.
Yeah, so on that I will now wrap this whole dive up, but it has been an amazing dive. Stingray, turtle, the garden eels, finally having Zoom. Everything about this was unreal. Thank you all for coming down and diving with me today. Thank you to Emil and thank you to Lauren.
Thank you, Pat, and thank you, diveLIVE family. I will see you. I will be under the surface at 11 a.m. Grand Cayman time.